Alright guys, welcome to the review video for the Bauer Flylight stick. And to sum it up in 2 words, and to quote a great man, great success. I really liked it. It's worked out great for me. I literally have 0 bad things to say about the stick. And if you watched it was sort of an out of the box, but also I did like a comparison between this and my Bauer Shadow stick. And I talked about how I was kind of trying to decide I wanted to do a custom order. And so I was using both to see, and yeah, this one won out. Now, it wasn't like a clear cut, running away with it victory. They're both really good. I could just as easily, honestly, use the Bauer Shadow stick, like if this didn't exist or something, and I would have been very fine with it. Like I really like the Bauer Shadow too. It's kind of a toss up, honestly, between the two. Like the things that I'll talk about it in a bit, but the things that like maybe decide to go with this other than the Shadow for doing a custom order is really minimal and almost meaningless. But I had to decide some way between the two. But one thing I kind of just want to say right off the bat, and I said this in plenty of other videos, if you've watched it, anything involving sticks, I always talk about this. I really don't play the puck. I'm not good at it. I do the bare minimum. I do like in zone passes as absolutely needed, but I'm not like saucing the puck down the ice. I'm not really firing it out of the zone. I'm definitely not going for an empty net goal. I just never been good at it. So like, I know that is a part of stick reviews and talking about sticks. But honestly, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Like, I could sit here and try to pretend and talk about playing the puck, but like, for what I play the puck, like all sticks kind of perform the same for me because it's just the bare minimum. So, I mean, the only thing I'll say is that the Flylite is a little more flexible, a little whippier feeling of a stick, and the Shadow is kind of a stiffer. I think probably because of that ergo spine it has on it. But that's about the only kind of advice or whatever I can offer you guys as to like how it feels playing the puck. So, sorry I can't like talk more about that, but like I said, I'm just being honest with you guys. But as far as anything like making saves related or anything else other than playing the puck, like, it felt good in my hands. It felt good, making the saves with this, it really dampens the vibrations. It really has like a dead feeling when the puck hits it. Like for instance, with the Shadow, on the other hand, there is a little more of like, gives off a rebound, pucks kind of hit off a little more. Not that it was ever really a problem in that respect with using the Shadow, but just to kind of talk about a minor difference between the two is that this one just kind of deadens the puck a little more. And again, I think that goes back, like I said, this is a little more like I don't know if softer is the right word, but it's not as rigid as stiff as the Shadow, so that probably works towards why it kind of deadens the puck when the puck hits it a little more. But yeah, and then like, durability, look, I haven't been using it for like a year long or something like that, but other than some cosmetic issues that some of them are just puck marks, which that's really just cosmetic. And then any little scratches that might appear on it is, I do a lot of poke checking. I really get aggressive with my stick with guys around the crease. So I'm constantly, with all my sticks, I'm constantly getting like skates hitting it and stuff like that. So yes, my sticks get kind of nicked up in that way, but not, it's not anything that it's like the stick is compromised, it's broken, nothing like that. So, but it's that, again, that's both sticks too, the Shadow and this one, like they've both been great in that respect. No durability issues, quality issues like that. So yeah, like again, it's when you take the playing the puck part out of it, like as long as it feels good in your hand and it's not like over vibrating or stinging when the puck hits it, like what else is there to say about a stick, right? The fact that this is, I believe this is the lightest stick on the market, definitely the lightest stick Bauer makes. It's nice, but I've talked about before, like that doesn't mean a whole lot to me. Like that's probably like last on the list of things I care about when it comes to a stick, because to me, every stick feels light. Yes, this might be a hair lighter than other ones, but it's not like I'm using, if I use another one, I'm like, oh my God, this is heavy, I can't use it. So, I mean, yes, I guess you tick that off as a plus since everything else is good on it. But like, if I didn't like other stuff about the stick, the fact that it was super light wouldn't like make up for it for me. But everything else being what it is, yeah, it's super light too. So like the fact that I'm saying I decided to order this custom, what am I gonna do custom that I couldn't just get stock? Obviously color for one thing. I mean, the red works with my set, but I can really dial it in a little more to really match my set. So obviously color is the one thing, but I do want to change a few specs of the stick that it comes stock. Now, these things weren't really like a problem, but it's just something, one of these things where it's like, well, if I'm going custom and I can do it, I do kind of prefer to change these things up. So what am I talking about? For one thing, the pentagrip, I just don't care about it. Like, it's not necessarily bad, but I also don't feel like it does anything to me. I'm fine with just like a regular feeling shaft on that area there. I mean, that's how it is on my shadow, that's how it is on my warrior sticks, like just about every other stick I've ever used. So I just don't feel like I need this. And with how much I do like poke check and do things with my stick, you know, my hand does tend to move around on it. I just rather be free and be like open than have this little thing there. So I'm gonna order the custom version without the pentagrip on it. Like I said, not a huge deal one way or the other, but given the option, I think I'm just gonna get rid of that. Another thing is stock. This comes with a shorter shaft. Again, if you saw the video I did where I compared this to the shadow, you saw like a size difference, and that was even with the fact that I did cut my shadow down a little bit from when I got it stock. Again, not that this was like a real problem for me, but because I do poaching and stuff like that, I just rather let them give me the full size, and then I'll cut it down to as needed to the size I usually use with my past sticks, which, you know, I've cut them down, but this even just stock is shorter than how I've cut down my other sticks in the past. So, you know, again, given the option, just give me the full length and I'll cut it to where I want it, instead of you know, imposing this size on me, which, like I said, it wasn't like a really bad thing or anything, but I rather have my option of cutting exactly to the length I like it. So I'm going to order the shadow length, or the traditional length, or whatever you want to call it, on the shaft. And then other than that, so I just recently released a video on my channel too, where I took a vacation to Calgary, really Banff, and then I was only in Calgary for like 2 days at the end before I left to come back home. But while I was in Calgary, I took advantage of going to a store because I don't really have any decent in-person stores down here in South Florida. So I got to look around, got to see a lot of equipment. You'll see videos coming up. It actually influenced me in some purchases I made. It might be a bad thing that I went there because my wallet's going to be affected by it. But yeah, just the ability to see things in person, it really like will either put you off some things or really make you interested in things, make you want to buy it. That's kind of what happened for me for some stuff. So they had a custom Bauer Flylight stick that had a rounded shoulder here, kind of like, if you know what Bobrovsky's stick looks like. I've done videos on that before, or just some other guys use it too, but it's a more rounded shoulder, and it had a trigger grip on it. And now, of course, being in a store, I'm just holding it with my hand, I'm not playing with it or whatever, but it felt pretty good. I like that setup, so I think I want to try it. And the good thing about Bauer is they'll do a one-off custom stick. So like, I'm not, you know, married to it. If like getting like with Warrior, you have to get at least a 3-pack. That's why I want to order this custom Flylight and do it in all these specs I want to do it. It's really going to be to try it out, and then if I like all those specs that I'm changing, I can order more from there. But I just think it's great that they offer the one-off, that you can, that way if you want to experiment, do some different options, try things out. But yeah, just basing it on how it felt in my hand in the store, I think I want to go that way. Not that this was, again, not that this, or really any of the pentagrip, the length, wasn't really bad or anything. Like, it's not something I'm coming off the ice complaining about. It's just that, again, given the option, which is always good to have options, I want to try the setup that I just described to you. Trying to think like what else I can do. Like I said, without talking much about the playing the puck, like so just to end, I'll say, like, I'll try to talk about the very minor differences between this and the shadow, since I did the other video before I actually use this, kind of comparing the two. And I mean, I kind of hit on that anyway, talking about why this wins out, but like, it's like I said, it's super close. They both feel good. The minor difference is, like I said, this deadens the puck a little more. And if you're kind of bringing that back to what I've talked about with leg pads, so some leg pads deaden the rebound, some kick it out more. I think there's pros and cons to both. I don't think one is necessarily all the time better than the other. Maybe with a stick you do want it to deaden a little more, that way you can cover it up, but I don't know. I guess if you also want to deflect things in a corner, it might be better to have hotter rebounds off it. But either way, that is a difference. And like I said before, it kind of goes into the same way with, like, if you want to talk about playing the puck or how it feels as far as a flex. This just has a deader, like more softer, flexible feel. The shadow is stiffer, more rigid kind of a feel to it. And if you saw my review video on the shadow, I did talk about the first time I ever used it, I did take a shot off of it, and it's kind of up by the hand. That did kind of sting me. Now, that was the only time that ever ended up happening with it, but that never happened once with this. I did not feel any stinging or anything like that. So, you know, yes, I kind of prefer that with this, but again, it's not like a huge thing one way or the other. I still could very easily use the shadow. So that was one little thing that swayed me towards this. And then, like I said, what swayed me to this is very minimal. The other thing really is like the graphic, to be honest. I like the graphic on this better. I think I could do a little more and it look better the way I want to order it custom. So again, very minor. It's literally just aesthetic, has nothing to do with the performance of it. But when you're comparing two things that are so close, it's things like that that are going to be the difference. And then, like, at the end of the day, okay, it's slightly lighter than the shadow. The shadow is still insanely light. But so that's what I'm saying. Like, it's the thing that swayed me to this is so little, but hey, that's what did it. Another thing I want to also just kind of mention, because I talked about it when I did the video out of the box of this and comparing it to the shadow. So at the time, I was saying that the main reason I was really interested in Bauer sticks is because at that time Warrior was not offering custom options for their new V4 stick. So that kind of like threw that out of the mix for me right then and there. Since then, recently they do have a customizer for their V4 stick now out on their website. But I still just want to give, like I said, especially since I can do the one-off custom, I want to give the Bauer a try, right? Like the Warrior, I kind of feel like it's more of a known thing for me. Yeah, I can always fall back on that. Like, I know Warrior sticks have always been good to me. I've always liked them throughout the years. But I just really want to try the Flylite in the spec that I've talked about. I think that could just really be like a great, almost perfect stick for me with the feel and everything and the grip. But yeah, so that's the little bit of review. Like I said, it's not a whole lot to say about it, especially when you take out playing the puck thing, but that's all I have to say about it. Yeah, so as always, if you have any questions, I can't think of anything I forgot, but if you have any questions, comments, whatever, leave it. I always get back to people, but other than that, I'll see you in the next video.